Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Casual Chaos. This week I have a very exciting guest, one of the OG's daughters, Avery Singer. Welcome to Casual Chaos.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, so am I. I know we were just talking about this before, but we've never actually met in person.
No. So that's why I'm so excited to be like, we are actually meeting.
Yes.
Because I think we met, remember when Andy did the Real House Kids during COVID and we all represented?
Yes. This is when we did the Watch What Happens Live episode.
Correct.
Okay.
And we all represented a different city.
Yes.
And I feel like that was the first time I even spoke to different Bravo kids because it's kind of like you're in your own, or at least I was in my own isolated bubble.
Well, it's true, for sure. I think when you have kids a part of the franchise and you get close with them, it's great. But it's funny now as I'm getting older and how we're all kind of connecting, obviously, because I'm on Next Gen NYC. So there's some Bravo kids that are on Next Gen. So we all have like a common ground to relate on, but it is really nice when you meet other kids that kind of went through the same thing that you went through. Were you never close with any of the kids that were on New York?
So I think it's important to remember the context of the show started when I was 12.
Okay.
I'm 30. So social media, I feel like now everyone connects through social media much faster. Back then, there was no social media. I was friendly with Ali Zarin because we were family friends growing up.
Yes, of course.
And then I kind of met some of the kids through the show, but we never really kept in touch. And I don't even know if I had a cell phone at 12. Maybe I just got a phone, but it's not.
I think that was the age
we were typing A, B, C, D to just even
Yes.
We weren't really chit-chatting.
We had like the little slide flip phones.
And so I feel like now with social media and when we were all together with Andy, everyone kind of said their own piece of not everyone watches every single episode. I felt everyone loves their mom for their mom but doesn't want to know everything that's going on. I forget if it was you or another child said they only watch one episode a season.
Okay, that was not me.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know who that was. I see that it's so crazy. I just feel like I'm so bad. I remember things, like of course I remember filming that Watch What Happens Live episode, but I don't
my
remember,
memory's so bad.
I don't remember like specifics of what people said. But I actually recently just started watching Real Housewives of New Jersey from the beginning.
No way.
I'm on like season 10 right now.
There's so much to watch.
taking a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
But I thought it was super cool to watch my family and kind of just see everything evolve. And my favorite parts of watching Real Housewives of New Jersey back were the early seasons.
Yeah, it's like home videos.
Full blown. It is at-home videos. We have them for the rest of our lives. They're such good quality. It's like
no, I have no home videos of myself. We like lost them all. So the little bits that people do, kind of I see it now on TikTok. I feel like all of the OG stuff is making a big resurgence.
Oh yes.
So it's stuff I personally don't watch that much TV, but it's on my list to start watching.
So you've never watched Real Housewives in New York from the beginning?
So how it worked, and I don't know if it worked for you, was we would get a DVD mailed the week before the show aired.
I totally remember these DVDs.
And so we would sit down and we watched season 1. I watched every episode. I got in trouble from my private school for being on TV because reality TV wasn't a thing. I went to an all-girl Catholic school. They wanted nothing to do with it. My parents now told me I almost got kicked out of school. So I ended up having to be under the radar for a lot of it.
Oh my gosh, wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah. And I feel like I love watching myself back of the little clips. I call her Little Aves, and she's so prim and proper, drinking Earl Grey tea with milk, and people say I reminded them of Dakota Fanning from Uptown Girls.
Okay.
There was a whole viral bit of, do you know like the dance of like Molly Smiles and the whole thing? There was this viral thing on TikTok, and I was like, honestly, I see that for myself.
Yeah.
But no, I've never watched other than maybe season 1, some of season 2, and then I used to get so embarrassed watching my mom, as I always say, and people would ask me all the time, what is it like growing up on TV? I would say that we're all embarrassed from our mothers. It doesn't matter how old you are. my mother just happens to embarrass me on a much larger scale. So therefore, I don't want to watch because I love my mom for who she is. We're best friends, but she always calls it, pushing the envelope, stirring the pot. That's what makes her and your mom too so iconic and so memorable, is they know what to do and how to react. And no one wants to watch people just sipping tea. They want to see flipping tables.
Yes, 100%. You're right. You're 100% right. Our moms have done so many iconic things and have had so many incredible iconic moments. And that is what makes them so legendary to this day. And that's why people still talk about them.
I know, it's amazing.
It's crazy. After all these years, they're still so relevant. That honestly is like a really big testament to their character and who they are as people.
I definitely think that our moms help put, as my mom would say, put the Real Housewives franchise on the map.
100%.
She says it verbatim. I'm just quoting her.
Oh.
What was your experience growing up on the show?
It was honestly super fun in the beginning years.
Yeah.
I really didn't notice or know anything different.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
So I want to say roughly 9 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
No, honestly younger, because I was 9 when Adriana was born on the show.
Okay.
And I want to say Adriana was born on the show around season 2 or 3.
Okay.
So yeah, I think I was 7, maybe 6 or 7. And so seeing myself so young and my sisters so young, Adriana literally being born onto the show was so beautiful, so crazy. And those seasons were my favorite seasons. Just those early moments, they were so pure and just, these are little kids running around in a normal household, just being a family, and the old school Italian traditions that my family obviously believes in so much, and seeing my grandparents, and some of them are no longer here anymore. So
special videos.
Really watching all of that back was so touching. And, then there were obviously a lot of hard times. Yeah. We went through some family feuds, some legal stuff, and I think that's what makes Bravo fans and the world really respect the OG so much, because they really have put their all into reality TV and have been so open with their lives.
Right.
And it's not easy to do that.
Yep.
So again, so much respect and love for them, because it's not an easy job.
I think it's also different now when people go on reality TV of their motives. With social media and everything, we actually did the show. I don't remember, but my mom always says we sat down as a family and we decided together, because at the time the recession was happening. My dad's family business, the internet was really blowing up, and we figured it was a great way for him to promote the family business of my mom created with him, True Faith Jewelry. They did fashion crosses and all of that stuff. And then she spun off to do a bunch of her own things kind of before, it was never to be famous. Growing up, people would come up to my mom and I'd be with her and they would say, "Are you Ramona?" She'd say, "No." I'm like, "Mom, you need to say, yes, I'm Ramona. They literally recognize me. These are your fans." And it's always she's still kind of uncomfortable through it. But
it's
I think
so funny.
Yeah,
but that is also a very valid point.
Yeah.
When my mom was first asked to do the Real Housewives of New Jersey, and just like you said, when your mom was asked to do the Real Housewives of New York, your family was building a business, so they looked at it as a great business opportunity,
free advertisement.
Exactly. For my mom, she was just a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
My dad was, the big construction guy, developer, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom with 3 adorable kids, and it was just what they wanted. It was what the producers were seeking and looking for, and my mom just looked at it as a really fun opportunity, because she used to be a buyer at Macy's.
Oh, my mom was a buyer.
Yeah, so that's what my mom used to do. She was a buyer in the city at Macy's, and my dad really wanted her to stop working when 9/11 happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she was pregnant with me.
Right.
So my mom then stopped working after 9/11 because he was just nervous, didn't want her commuting into the city, was just,
Totally.
wanted her to be safe, especially for the duration of her pregnancy. And so then my mom really never went back to work. She never went back to her normal 9 to 5.
Right.
So then when the show came along, she really just looked at it as an opportunity, like, okay, yeah, I'm bored. This looks like fun. I'm filming a show with all of my friends. What could go wrong?
Right. The show is supposed to actually be called Manhattan Moms. It wasn't going to be a franchise yet. So I think that, yeah, we had no idea what we were signing up for.
No.
And here we are all these years later. It's crazy.
It really
We
is so
actually
crazy.
watched season 1 during COVID because my parents, my silver lining of COVID was we all quarantined together. And so that was really fun to watch certain things back. And my mom and I always talk about we need to watch like the most iconic episodes, especially with her new show that's airing soon on E, The Golden Life. I'm kind of trying to remember her iconic bits for her to do it on her new TV show to give the fans something that they would be excited about.
Of course. So how did that come along? Did Bravo have any response to them doing that? Because they really don't let their talent go easily.
Yes.
They really try to, especially with the reboot of New York, Bravo got a lot of backlash because there were
it was really unfortunate, the whole situation.
It was unfortunate. I mean, listen, and I think they learned their lesson that if they are going to add new cast members or do like a big makeover, you at least need to incorporate some of the OGs into the cast, because there's no way that you're gonna really maintain that same fan base that was there all along.
Absolutely. I think they had 12 or 13 seasons, and then poof, they all disappeared.
Yeah.
It was so sad.
Yeah. So what was the ending? Like, what was that ending of Real Housewives of New York?
It honestly was really abrupt. They were supposed to film the reunion and everything. I think that I'm not sure how much I can say or not say.
Yeah.
I just think due to the climate of the situation at the time, things just kind of fell how they fell. And I think that you're 100% right. They should have kept 3 people to kind of put in the mix, and so many fans were invested in so many of these women's life, and they've all been begging for the Roni to come back. So there was a moment where they were going to do the Roni legacy and then also do the Roni reboot. So that was a plan at one point. And then that kind of got trashed. And then that's what happened of spinning into the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip was let's give the fans something that they want. Let's bring the OGs together. And then they did a Real Housewives Legacy New York Ultimate Girls Trip. And I think that was a great success. Things have always kind of been in the rumbling for a while. I know there were certain housewives that wanted to come back more than others. And when the opportunity came to my mother, she was unsure. Because she's living her best life. She's down in Florida. She's living her best life. She's basically retired and she deserves it. She's been working so hard her whole entire life. And I said to her, Mom, you got to do this. You need, and same when the opportunity came for the Ultimate Girls Trip, for the legacy, or for the first time when our moms were together, she was unsure. And I said to her, you got to give it to the fans. You got to be on a high. People can't remember like the last bad season. You need to bring it back and represent who you are and all the high. So I'm really excited. I've been filming with the ladies a few times. I just got back from Florida, and I keep saying.
So that's where they're doing it. They're doing it in Florida.
Yes,
Are a lot of the ladies basically in Florida now?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It's a mix. Okay. So they're filming in West Palm Beach area. And I've been spending a lot of time there basically since COVID. My dad bought his place, I think, or started going down there when my parents got divorced in 2018, 2017. Okay. We've been going most of our lives, and now we've just been thriving down in Florida.
I love that. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Especially during these winter months.
Snowbird season is a thing. You're never too young to start snowbirding, let me tell you.
Oh, no, never. So how does it feel filming with them? Obviously, they're a part of the E network now.
Yes.
How does it feel filming with them on E and filming this show? Is it any different than filming with Bravo for Real Housewives of New York?
So I filmed for the first time several weeks ago, and I hadn't filmed in I don't know how many years, 8 or more. And I was definitely a little bit nervous because now I feel as I'm older, I realize the scale of what I'm signing up for versus at 12, 13, 14. I was just similar to you. We're out here. We didn't know that we were building a beast and a whole franchise, right?
Not at all. And I think it was also, we were still kids.
Yeah.
So whatever we said or whatever we did, it was innocent.
Right. We're kids. It's
Yes,
okay.
Everything's okay.
So I definitely was a little bit nervous, but also was excited. I feel that we're almost getting a take two on the situation now that, I'm older. It's kind of a new era of Avery versus little Aves, as I used to call her. So the first scene I filmed was catching up and having lunch with my mom. What I thought and what I noticed was really cool was the cameras are so much smaller and more compact, and there's just less people now to do the same thing versus I feel growing up there would be way more people, such big cameras, such big things. And I know that you've been filming for so long that you've probably noticed the whole, without even realizing all of the changes that have been happening with technology. It felt like no time had passed. And people always say, what is it like filming? It's literally like this, except this is honestly more of a production than actually filming because there's all these lights here. It would just be you and I casually sitting, and there happens to be 2 cameras, and they overall maybe give you some questions. Maybe they don't give you questions, and somehow it later gets aired and clips in different ways. Sometimes you might be, at least I felt with Bravo sometimes when I'd watch myself back, they don't want you to look perfect. And sometimes I felt maybe if I was at a dinner or at something, I would zone out for a second. And for whatever reason, they would keep that clip in almost to look like I was ignoring someone or a situation, which I didn't love.
Yeah.
I have no idea how I'm going to come across this time around. Hopefully, I think I'll watch. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I just feel no one loves to watch themselves back. You
It's
comment
so
on
true.
your voice. You comment on how you look.
100%. And you're honestly, we're our biggest critics. So
yeah, but it was honestly so fun when I saw the ladies together for the first time. My heart was full. I hadn't been in a room with all of them in so long, and it felt like we were an unspoken family. And even though we've never met in person, I feel we're already connected in so many ways, and that I've known you for so long just through these common ties that we have.
For sure.
And yeah, it honestly felt like no time had passed.
Did you notice anything about the production and the way that they produce on E is any different than Bravo?
So
I know the editing obviously has not happened yet, but just the way that the producers speak to you or maybe throw in some bits, does that seem any different?
I honestly didn't notice that much growing up. It's kind of a blur, to be honest with you. I definitely have gotten a lot closer with these producers also because I helped plan certain things for the ladies, and I'm also a full-blown adult that I can text them. I'm in my own chat with them, and it's just myself. My mom and I, we joke we're also little mini producers because we just know exactly what we want to talk about, what we want to do, what the people want to hear. We don't need 4 hours to film gold. We just need an hour in and out.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Watching Real Housewives of New York, I think people
Have you ever watched it?
No.
Okay.
The only franchises that I've really watched are now Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Yes.
Recently. I also watched Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
I hear that one's really
good. It was good. I was a fan. It's a really, really good franchise.
Yeah.
I know so many people are like, are you crazy? You have to start from New York, then go to Jersey.
Right. There's a whole
list. And
Method to Madness.
Yes. And I really do need to watch New York.
Maybe we can watch it together.
Would love to.
Some highlights. We can ask the fans what are the biggest seasons or the main episodes.
Yes.
And then we can have a little comment party on the things.
100%. Oh my God. Yes. So Casual Chaos listeners, if you suggest any episodes that we should watch,
we can do a little
know.
debrief.
That would be so funny. But I think a lot of people picked up on that you and your mom are quite the opposite. Would you agree on that?
I think my mom and I are similar in a lot of ways, but definitely different. I like to think that I am the perfect combination of both of my parents. I have both of their best qualities, and some of my mom's tendencies I do have, but as I've gotten older, I've been trying to work on them.
Yeah.
And some of it is just being a New Yorker. We're very blunt. We tell it like it is. I don't have a mean bone in my body, and nor does my mother. We just kind of word vomit. I definitely have gotten a lot better as I've gotten older. But we both like to have fun. She has way more energy than me. She can do 100 different things in one day. It is absolutely wild.
It's honestly like a mom superpower, though. No. I don't get it.
Yeah, she is built differently. But I definitely have her work ethic, her entrepreneurial spirit. I think because of her, that's what led me to start my own company, BachBoss, and just watching her build so many different businesses. And she is someone that loves bringing people together, hosting. I'm exactly like that. Our family are our friends. We're a very big family because I'm an only child, and I unfortunately lost all my grandparents by the time I was 12, so I don't really have a big family.
Yeah.
So I definitely think I've learned a lot of amazing qualities from her. And yeah, I wouldn't trade my mom for the world.
Of course. So do you also feel like there were points in time throughout your life where you were like the parent to your mom?
Yes. So we have a running joke even now of who's the mom. And I think my mom really does lean on me in a lot of ways just for advice, how to handle certain situations. We might have touched on this, I think, a little bit earlier, but I think also our parents being a bit older, they're a little out of touch when they don't mean to be. I think just the climate of the world, everyone is very hypersensitive. And my mom is not always the most politically correct. So I try to guide her through that. And my mom is very receptive to my feedback. Sometimes, even with filming, she'll say, I'm too tired. I don't want to do this. And I'll be like, Mom, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. I'm here in town. She's like, okay, Avery, okay. Her default sometimes is always no. And then I just have to work her quickly to say yes.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. I honestly think, too, growing up on reality TV, it made us mature very quickly.
Yes.
So even though I think I was always born as like an old soul, I do think reality TV and obviously the situations that my family had, and obviously the situations that my family has gone through has made me mature very quickly.
And you being the eldest daughter too.
Yeah. So, I've taken on a lot of responsibility throughout my life, but that also has made my mom and I become extremely close, that we almost do kind of have a sister relationship.
Yes.
So I talk to her, yes, sure, like I feel like I'm being the mom sometimes, but I also talk to her like she's my sister, where she doesn't have a sister. So I'm like, well, all of your daughters were the sisters you never had.
Yeah.
And I think that's why obviously God gave her daughters, and because she's always wanted a sister. So even though yes, there could be points where I do feel like I'm momming her, I also am like, well, I'm also giving you the best advice that I think will benefit you, make you succeed, and be the best version of yourself.
Correct. And especially when there's eyeballs on them.
Everywhere. Yeah, at all times. So you co-founded BachBoss.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Yes.
It is a luxury party planning service.
Yes.
How did you get into this? What inspired you to do it?
Yes.
I am so excited to hear about this
Thank you.
because I want to hear what the batch means.
Yes.
Is this only bachelorette parties?
I will give you the full story.
Oh, I'm so excited.
And
so now I want you to plan mine.
well, that was obviously
Okay.
next question.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
I
let's go.
started BachBoss with one of my best friends. We were co-maid of honors, planning our mutual best friend's bachelorette, joking it could be a full-time job doing these things. I had the Excel spreadsheet out, options, dividing things per person. It was one of those in passing. Not everyone has the time, bandwidth to want to plan a bachelor, bachelorette group trip, whatever, right? And it was just a casual conversation. Maybe we should make this a business. We started ID-ing, realizing there weren't that many competitors in this space.
There really isn't.
And also the whole wedding industry is just crazy.
Insane. But honestly, Avery, I'm not even lying to you. Like since I knew you created this because I saw it on social media, but since then I think I've seen like one other company do this. Like it's not a competitive business. I really don't think so, because it also entails a lot.
So at BachBoss, we do everything A to Z. So think of us as kind of your one-stop shop for all things travel planning, where we work with vendors all over the world. So we have our go-to Miami people.
That's amazing.
So I would say our top 4 locations are Miami, Las Vegas. I've been trending actually more West Palm Beach, which has been fun.
Nice.
But, we'll do Cabo, Tulum. I'm actually doing Bridget from Acquired Style, her bachelorette this weekend in St. Bart's. It's 17 girls. And do you know I worked with Brianna LaPaglia to do her sister's bachelorette? Did you know that?
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, that's so funny, because I literally was going to reach out to Brie, like, when the time comes. I like to think ahead. I'm like, oh,
I've been thinking about you.
When I get engaged.
Yes, when you do get engaged. TikTok.
I know. But so that's awesome. You really worked with so many people, and that's amazing that you have vendors all over.
Yes. So I will book your accommodations, reservations, transportation, work with you to do the custom swag, fridge stocking, balloon decor, boat day, ATVing, literally whatever it is, create the mood boards, right? And I'll collect the money from the group. I will communicate to the group, right? So it's so fun.
So it really takes a lot of stress off of the bride and
maid
also
of honor,
probably the maid of honor.
Is.
Exactly.
Yeah. This last weekend I did 4 trips.
Wow.
One of them was 23 girls in Nashville. It honestly went seamlessly. What's great too is just kind of thinking of things that you may not think of, which is having kind of food fully have the fridge stocked, have all the welcome bags laid out upon arrival. So I have local concierges in all of these cities where they will do all the work. So when you show up to the villa or wherever you're going, you just walk in and you can just be amazed. And if you want us to be a ghost partner, great. If you want to give us some credit, great. Like literally whatever works.
Yeah, of course.
And just
give
kind of
credit where credit's due.
Yeah, but we're just happy to help and kind of be part of these huge, milestone celebrations. We've done 50th birthday, 70th birthdays. Really, there's nothing too big or too small. I've planned up to 100 people for a weekend.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But your specialty is really doing these parties where it's more destination based.
I've done New York. I've also done one day things. So there's really, I say yes to whatever makes sense, right? Whatever is worth my time and it makes sense for both of us, right? And it's so much fun. I can't believe now it's been almost 3 years.
I mean, listen, it is such a smart business venture. Like, I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
Because it's true. When you are putting that pressure on your maid of honor, which 9 times out of 10, it's probably your sister or it's one of your best friends, it's a lot. It's a lot of planning. Also, to be collecting the money from like close friends or people around you, or, sometimes it could be somebody that you really don't know that well.
Yeah.
It could become awkward or uncomfortable, constantly asking.
Yep.
So to then have a business come in and a company asking
Correct.
for you,
yes,
it really takes that pressure off.
Yes.
And to just know that professionals are coming in and are really going to make your weekend so perfect,
yes,
it really gives everybody a peace of mind, I feel.
Yes. We are kind of the third party to handle all of those awkward conversations. We can ask about, budget, what people feel comfortable spending, and then we can talk to the bride or the maid of honor saying, this is what the group's budget is. Is there something that maybe you want to subsidize, or can we cut this out? Because it's important to remember that, unfortunately, you're not the only person that's getting married, and everyone has different budgets to work with, and it's really uncomfortable because no one wants to disappoint the bride. And that's how I got the idea, because I was uncomfortable and I was planning, and I wish that I could have had someone navigate it with me. And I actually ended up getting laid off from my tech job as I had the idea when all of tech was getting laid off at the end of 2022, and I call it the golden handcuffs were coming off. And I said, if not now, then when? I'm going to start this idea. And I never looked back.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And so I assume it's doing incredible.
Yeah, it's been really, really, really fun.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
I mean, you doing Acquired Styles bachelorette trip this upcoming weekend is huge.
Yeah, I'm so excited for it. She's definitely going to be one of my top 5 clients. I also worked with Olivia Culpo, which was amazing. Hannah Brown was awesome.
She's so sweet, Hannah Brown.
So sweet. And that's definitely
the Filong sisters are amazing as well.
Yeah, my mom actually was the one that connected us.
Love.
Because she knows their mom.
Okay, so fun.
And yeah, because I'm sure you've seen it all, and it's one of those things where if you have the network or you know certain people, might as well offer your services to gain more notoriety.
Of course.
And I'm fully leaning into whatever I can, because if someone was in my shoes, why wouldn't you do it too?
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm super excited, and I also think now I'm trying to just lean more into all different opportunities and different things now that I am fully my own boss, that I don't have to answer to anyone or anything, because I used to work in finance for 5 years and then tech for a long time, and now, yeah, who would have thought I'd be a young entrepreneur? But so are you.
Thank you. But it's really incredible. And honestly, I feel like it is the biggest pat on the back. It's like, wow, I did it.
Yeah.
And it feels good.
Because weren't you studying to be a lawyer?
I was studying to be a lawyer. I was a criminal justice major and a sociology minor.
Oh, I was a sociology minor.
Rutgers. I loved it.
Yeah.
And I still do. I love law. I love everything about it. I do still think it's a small passion of mine.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It became a small passion.
Mm-hmm.
When I, throughout college, I had internships at immigration law firms, the public defender office in Middlesex County. I really explored all of my options. I was studying to take the LSAT. Like, I put the work in. But then as I was doing that as well, I also started really expanding on social media and really exploring that. And I became to realize that I really love doing this, and I think it's so much fun. And the opportunities kind of just kept flowing in, and honestly, it made the most sense to stick with social media. The money, I just couldn't say no to.
That's amazing.
And I just was really happy. And even so many people around me were telling me, Gia, you're in your 20s. When else are you really going to hit this full send button and pursue this other than being in your 20s?
Totally.
And I was like, you're so right. If I really, if I really do want to pursue my law career down the road, I still can. I can go back to law school whenever I want part-time. But this is really what I enjoy doing. Like, being in this space has brought Casual Chaos to me. It's brought Next Gen NYC to me. There's been so many amazing opportunities that I'm like, if I was going to law school, I really don't know if I would be sitting in this room right now.
100%. No, I think it's awesome what you've done.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Growing up on Real Housewives of New York, seeing all the extravagant parties that have obviously played out on Real Housewives, did that ever interest you? Or was it really that moment where you were sitting there planning the bachelorette party where you were like, I think this is it?
So I've always been a planner my whole entire life. And I still am. I'm the one that, gets all the people together, hosts. I used to have these ridiculous house parties too, growing up when my parents would be out in the Hamptons. I also planned UVA Cabo spring break for 200 people because my parents weren't going to give me $2,000 to go on spring break. So I said, I will be the one to trend the spring break, get the free trip, all of the things. So that was definitely when I started dabbling. And then also the silver lining of my parents getting divorced was my father and I, we started doing father-daughter trips. So I would make these amazing itineraries and all of that stuff. The joke is you bring the credit card, I plan everything else, obviously within the proper budget. So I've always loved traveling, planning, and most of these destinations I've been so lucky to have already visited. So I think it was always in my DNA, and then it just started making more and more sense. And I'm someone where I love to kind of coordinate all the different things. I'm not someone that I want to necessarily design the whole tablescape, but I will work with you to design it. Does that make sense? I like to be more of the orchestrator up here.
Yeah. Love that. You like
Yeah.
to tell people what to do. What are you most proud of since starting your business?
I think something I'm the most proud of from starting my own business is being able to really control my own schedule. The beauty of working for myself and working remote now, I'm able to spend so much time with my parents and be in Florida for 2-3 weeks. And it's just time that I could never get back anywhere else. So I think that's the whole priceless experience of it all.
So at the end of 2025, you decided to freeze your eggs. How was that journey and what led you to wanting to do that? I mean, you're only 30. You're not, your time's not up yet.
Yeah. No, of course. So there was several factors. One of my close friends went through a very long process of IVF and went through 5 rounds. And just to kind of see her go through that and help her through all of that was very, emotional, taxing, all of the things. And they always say the younger you are, the more eggs that you have and the better quality of eggs.
Yeah.
The younger you are. And I feel what's awesome through social media and more people are normalizing the process. And I didn't really know that much about it. I saw a few influencers also post about it and I learned a ton through her as well. And I just figured at the time I wasn't in like a very serious relationship. I had no idea when I wanted to have kids. I know I would like to have children.
Of course.
But it's just
and then
nice
also,
to have options.
100%. And when you do hit that 30 mark, I think it's just normal subconsciously as a woman to be like,
yes,
okay, I'm 30.
Yes.
I only have 10 years left.
Yes.
But also 10 years to our knowledge.
Right.
Who knows? We could go to the gynecologist and
Correct.
our fertility levels might not be at what we thought they would be at 37.
Correct.
We don't know.
Yes.
So really it's like, okay, yes, we have 10 years. You're not supposed to really have kids past 40. But okay, in your late 30s, they don't say it's the best either. So it's like, okay, wow, brain is spinning, wheels are turning. Are you saying I only have 5 more years to have a kid? I totally get it.
I think something
you start kind of spiraling.
Something I would recommend for anyone who's listening, the next time you go get your blood work done is to ask to check for your AMH level, because that will kind of let you know your level of your reserve in terms of everyone's levels of different of how many eggs that you have. And you could be really young and you could have a very low AMH. You could be older and have a very high AMH. And that can help also determine if you are interested in freezing your eggs. I mean, I know I inspired a lot of people to look into it, even some of my own close friends. A lot of them are now doing it, which is awesome.
I mean, of course, even to just know the AMH levels.
Yes.
I'm like, that's in the back of my brain now.
Just to kind of, people get blood work, your yearly checkup anyways, just ask about it. I think it's something that's not spoken about, and then you can kind of make a more informed decision. Something that I said to myself every night before I was injecting myself was, you can do hard things. You can do hard things. I did it fully by myself. I lived alone and was doing it. So you don't need to have a partner or roommate or anyone. It's very taxing. It's a long-ish process, but the actual what's called stimulations, where you're stimulating your ovaries, because you have your left ovary and your right ovary, and in your ovaries there are follicles, and in the follicles there are eggs. So you're trying to grow your follicles as much as possible to extract as many eggs as possible. And so you are injecting yourself, depending on what's called your protocol, in the morning and the evening. It can be multiple shots. I've never injected myself with anything. And then you start going in to the doctor almost every morning to check your blood work, your levels, you do your ultrasounds to see how your follicles are growing. So the actual stimulation process is a lot, but also it was during December, Christmas season. I was going to Christmas parties. I wasn't drinking, but I was still showing up and doing the things, and would say to my friends, gotta go, have to do my shot at 7:00, we'll meet you after. So it's really whatever you want to make of it. Of course, everyone has their own experience and symptoms.
How long did that take?
What do you mean?
How long did you have to inject yourself and go to the doctor every morning?
That is, the stims process is normally about 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's the prep phase, and then there's the stims or the injection phase, and then there's the trigger shot, which is then when you go under and they extract all of the eggs that they have that are mature. Some aren't mature, some could be too big, and then they will freeze them. Or if you're making embryos, that is when you will, with your partner's sperm, and not every egg and sperm make an embryo. Not every embryo is genetically modified. There's all of these things, which is why it's important to get as many eggs as you can, which is why people do multiple rounds. We can always talk about it off camera if you have any questions.
No, wow.
Please, anyone DM me. I'm happy to answer questions.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. So I'm assuming you're really happy with your choice and your decision.
Yeah, I'm just happy that I gave myself an option, and I'm also really happy that I was able to share and inspire others to look into it.
Definitely. That's so amazing. So are you dating right now? What is the status of your dating life?
I am in a new relationship.
So fun.
Yeah, and we will see how it goes. We actually met 7 years ago and we rekindled, and he actually lives on my same block on the Upper East Side.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So is that why you made your way back to New York for a little bit?
No, it's actually funny. So I've been living in Chicago for a little over 4 years. As I was saying to you earlier, I had a self-dubbed quarter-life crisis where I needed to get out of Manhattan, change it up. My dream was to live in London. That wasn't an option at the time, so I made a list of top U.S. cities, and Chicago and Austin were my top 2. I did 3 months Chicago, 3 months Austin, never been to Texas. Wow. When I say this stuff out loud, I can't believe I did this. I just came with 2 suitcases, fully subleased places, brought my own sheets and towels, didn't know anyone, asked anyone, does anyone know anyone with a pulse in Chicago or Austin? And it was really great. It really challenged me. And I loved Chicago so much that I've been there since. After leaving Austin, I went back to Chicago. And I really haven't lived in New York City since 2019, which is also crazy. And my mom's now been in West Palm Beach, and she's doing her snowbird season from November to May, and then she'll go to the Hamptons and the whole circuit. And one of my close friends wanted to try living in Chicago, and so she's staying in my apartment for 2 months. And I figured, this is great. This forces me to leave Chicago. I'm going to come to New York. And I actually met him after this was all fully decided.
Oh my God.
So it was great universal timing.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, no, divine timing is
So
a thing.
where do you stay when you're in New York?
So I'm currently staying at my mom's apartment on the Upper East Side. So I feel very lucky to have, her beautiful apartment is sitting open most of the year. I don't even know why she has it, but
listen, it's a great investment property to have.
No,
and it's a beautiful apartment.
Well, it's a rental. So she's just happy that someone is using it.
So what is next for you?
That is something I'm figuring out actually right now. I feel like I'm almost recalibrating, and I'm sure you felt this in some ways where it's just kind of, you have a goal and then you do it, but then you want to grow or you want to do something different, but then there's so many potential things that you could be doing and you get lost in the sauce. I am really excited to kind of lean more into my personal brand. I've never really posted that much on social media. I did a lot more in 2020, and then I just kind of was focusing on myself of changing different cities, making friends, being present, building my business. So now I'm really excited to kind of share more about myself and what I've been up to, continue building BachBoss, and I also want to create potentially some travel products.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Avery, so much for coming on Casual
Of
Chaos.
course. Thank you for having me.
I can't wait to contact you when it's time to plan my batch trip.
Yes, me too.
My sister Gabriella is going to be actually over the moon.
Great.
Because she is like very type A, very particular. She's a very particular person.
Yeah.
And she is probably going, she will be my maid of honor because she's my second sister. Mm-hmm. It's me, Gabriella, Melania, and Adriana. So Gabriella is the closest one to me in our age range.
Yeah.
But she is like you. She is the planner. She plans everything. I'm leaving actually on Monday to go visit her because she's abroad in Barcelona.
Oh, amazing.
And after a couple days in Barcelona, we're going to Sicily.
Oh, beautiful.
And she has planned the entire thing. I gave her my credit card. She has booked everything, planned everything. And that is exactly who Gabriella is.
I love it.
So she already knows when it's time for me, she's going to have to put all hands on deck and plan everything.
Yes.
But now once I tell her that I'm going to literally change her life by guys coming in.
No, we literally
she's
always
gonna be the happiest person
we
in the
always
world.
say we always say give the gift of BachBoss to your maid of honor or whoever is planning it, so we can help them navigate.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on Casual Chaos.
It was so fun.